Hello and welcome to this podcast episode. What are you making your life about? This is an episode I've been wanting to create for a few months, maybe like 6 months. I just had such insight around it for myself. And it was something that we talked about in my Mastermind Feminine Mystery School that was just like such a popping moment for the girls in there to really break it down this way. So I'm really excited that I am getting to record this and share this with you guys because this is fundamental. And I've just released my book, Be Unacceptable, Dare to Live the Life You're Meant For. And this is in my book has part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is the spells that bind you, the spells that put you under the illusion that you need to be an acceptable version of yourself. And part 2 is the code that wakes you up from that wakes you up from your bullshit and enables you to take the steps that are true, follow through on your truth, despite the voices in your head that are raging at you that you can't do that, it's not allowed, you shouldn't. And in part 2, code 1, the foundational code is called, I'm on video because I'm now going to be uploading this podcast to YouTube. Maybe I upload it on Spotify in video as well. I'm not sure. But I'm just saying that because I'm putting this at the camera. Code 1, the holy hot service of self-worship. Kneel at your new altar. So I've been wanting to create this podcast episode for ages. And then as I was writing each one of the codes, I wanted to have a podcast episode that took that code deeper. And I realized that I hadn't recorded this episode yet, and this would be one for code 1. So you might be listening to this because you just read code 1 in Be Unacceptable, or you might not have at all, in which case I highly recommend, if you like this episode, to get the Be Unacceptable book. And this is really related to code 1 that I speak to in the book, the holy hot service of self-worship. And what that is about is knowing what you make your life about and choosing what you make your life about. So a lot of us by default don't really define for ourselves what our life is about. And then we get conflicted about things. We have trouble making decisions. We don't know, should I do this? Is it irresponsible? Is it bad? Should I do this? Is it this? Like, what is my thing? And, everyone gets twisted in knots about making major decisions. And also, we're kind of trying to keep ourselves abiding by certain unconscious rules that we believe we should obey, or we believe we should, prioritize, that aren't really true for us. It's just what we've been handed down by our culture or by our parents. And we're kind of like, oh, should I make my life about this? Should I prioritize this? And then when that's what you're doing, you're not fully choosing your path. So I'm going to give you an illustration in a second that's going to really land this, I think. Because basically, you can either make your life, on a fundamental level, you can either make your life about resolving things like security, safety, belonging, control. Like, that's what your life can be about. Your life can be about maintaining control, having certainty, financial security, safety, belonging in the tribe. Like, your life can be about those things, or your life can be about living your true nature and purpose. And when you see it this way, things become really fucking simple, and decisions become really fucking simple and really fucking easy and really fucking obvious, because you have defined for yourself what your life is about, and then it's obvious. It's just so obvious. And I swear to God, I never got this to the level of clarity and just seeing it as I did earlier this year. And I saw how, for the past 10 years, I have thought that I made my life about discovering and living my true path. And I've tried to, honestly, like I've tried to. I quit my engineering job. I, at one point, sort of threw in the coaching business I had tried to start and decided maybe I would go back to law or get a job in management consulting and do something that made me feel really intellectually validated. And then I just couldn't do it. I did actually start taking steps down that path and I just couldn't do it. And I was like, no, that's not what I'm meant to be doing. Even though I feel so fucked up and like have no validation and, I have no idea how it's going to work for me. I know that's not for me. I know I'm here to like share my wisdom and my message. Not that I would have termed it like that at the time. And there's just something for me here in coaching and sharing my heart. I just know it, even though I had absolutely crippling issues with letting myself be seen, with sharing anything, with being visible at all. I just knew. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try and follow up a job like that. I'm not gonna apply, like I'm not gonna sit the law exams. I'm just going I'm gonna get some part-time work to support me and that utilizes like my skills, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep figuring this out. So that's what I did. And what I can see I had this constant conflict with was security, and that I should prioritize financial security and that should be my orientation. And I would have this thing like go on a lot of like, am I doing the wrong thing? And I should be prioritizing financial security. Like I should be getting myself into a better place financially, or like, I would feel fine about it for a while. And then I'd be like, okay, it's fine. I've been in my 20s. It's fine that I've given myself that space and not prioritized financial security. But am I reaching the point in life where that's where I should be prioritizing? And I need to kind of wake up and grow up and make that a priority to set myself up for the future. And I did, through this, I guess that was in terms of really like my income and, I prioritized a lot investing in myself and investing in the business I wanted to create, which I know because I have parents that have a business, like I know business takes investment and also because, I read all the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books. Business takes investment. And so you can invest in your business or you can invest in stocks and such. There's more investment options, but in essence, let's just say. And you can invest in assets really external to you, or you can invest in your business. And actually your best investment when you're getting businesses going is in your business. And that's just kind of what you prioritize in the early phases where you're getting momentum going. And so I kind of was at peace with that, but then I'd be like, okay, but I'm still not making as much money as I think I should, or as I would if I had kept working as an engineer. And yeah, it's like, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, should I be prioritizing this? And I did have investments as well. And I grew up in a family where my parents had a business and that was like they had a farm, and it's quite at many points and most of my childhood financially challenging, like really financially challenging. And then there was also a point where they started really prioritizing investing and getting into investing, which was maybe, not sure, but maybe when they're around 40 or like into their 40s. I was like, okay, cool. We need to build up our retirement. We're going to start really prioritizing that. We're just going to start getting involved and giving it a go with like property and with shares. And, honestly, well, this is like a side, so I'm not going to really go there, but, it was really good to see the reality of investing as well, and that you win some and and you lose some. And that's just actually part of like giving anything a go in life and taking risks. And like, you have to have losses to learn, to then do better investments. And it's not like every investment should be a winner. It just can't be. If that's what you need, you won't invest. And honestly, that's really the same in business. If you need everything you do to work out and like be the quote unquote winner, you won't do anything in business, because you have to be willing to just try things and for those things to not work out, which then leads you to learn things and adjust and try more things and make things work out. But like, you just have to have that process. But anyway, it's been this conflict for me, inner conflict. And what I recognize this year is that like what I learned, I never really quite saw this until this year. Like, what I learned your life should be about is setting yourself up financially and having financial security. Like, that's what I learned. Like, you, as a fundamental thing, you should prioritize in life. And like, yes, you know, like, I don't know. I never got any strong indoctrination from my family of like, oh, I need to find a man and have kids. Like, sort of surprised me a bit that my mum at one point said things about like, oh, when are you going to have kids? And I was like, what? Why are you saying that to me? Like, that was not a message I felt like I received growing up. Like, go buy and like, on a cultural level, sure. But, you know, that's just never really like a thing. But that is a thing for some people, is like, oh my God, I should be just getting a partner and having kids and having a family. Like, that's the right thing to do. And then you get fucked up about if that's not happening for you and you feel like it should be. And then you're like in this conflict, and maybe you're trying to follow your true path, but you're like, oh, but I should be like married by now and have kids, or have bought my own house or whatever. And for me, I really realized like, yeah, what I really learned life is about is that you work really hard at something, you put your head down, you work hard, you be financially conservative, you don't spend much, you save, you invest, and you prioritize setting yourself up financially so that you're financially secure. You've like multiplied whatever you might have had so that you can give it to your kids and give them, you know, something to kind of kickstart them. And like, that's what you should do. And that was just like this unconscious program that I had, which was why I would come into all this conflict when I would invest in myself, or I would invest in my vision, or I would even buy clothes, you know, like without having like tons of savings or be investing. And that would be like, oh, I shouldn't do, you know, internally, my voice of acceptable would be like, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't, oh, you're doing a bad thing. Am I being really irresponsible? Is my life never going to come together because I'm just being irresponsible? And I should be doing this responsible thing of like, I should be saving more money. I should be investing more money every year. And, you know, and like my higher perspective would always be, this is the phase that I'm in right now. I'm in a phase where I'm not investing like a lot each year, if anything. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. And I'm, you know, and I'm like putting in for my vision. But then I would feel bad about it. And I, you know, and then like when I would make like decisions, it would be like, oh, well, I guess I should keep more in reserves and not make this decision because I should prioritize my financial security. And like, so it would create conflict, and it would also be very present in my decision making, because unconsciously I had a belief, and I just saw it when I saw it this year. I just saw how this comes from my dad. I like, and I'm not making it a bad thing, but like I saw how this comes from my dad. This conditioning that I should be responsible. This even concept of responsible and what responsible is, and I should be being responsible and doing these things, and I'm bad. I'm like bad because I'm not doing that. And I invest, whatever fucking word you want to use, on like coaching and this thing, rather than putting all that money aside and putting it into a house. And like my higher perspective is like, yeah, this is the phase I'm in. I'm putting this in, and that stuff will come later for me. And I just, like, I'm 34, I'm about to turn 35. Even if I didn't mention my age, it's like, I just don't need to be worried about that, because like when I'm in my higher perspective, I know that I'm the predominant creative force of my life, and I'm a creator, and like I can bring that together at any point where that's the thing to bring together. But right now, the thing to bring together is getting my work out into the world and establishing my work and establishing my business. And if I, that's like where I'm channeling my resources, and that's what's true for me. And, you know, whatever I need in the future, I can create. Whatever I need in the future, I can create. I am a resourceful creator. I can create. But then I would have this feeling of like, oh, I'm bad. Am I doing the wrong thing? Have I done the wrong thing? And I'll start feeling guilt, and I'll start questioning myself. And I caught myself doing it this year, and I was like, why are you doing that? Why are we doing that? Why are we starting to feel bad and like going into this like guilt and shame and like, oh, maybe I'm just doing life wrong, and I'm doing everything wrong, and I shouldn't be doing this, and I should be setting myself up financially, and that should be my priority. And because I'm not doing it right now, it means I'll never do it, and it'll never happen. And I was just like, wow, I have a belief, my egoic structure, my voice of acceptable tells me this is what life's about. This is what life is about. Working hard, set yourself up financially, set yourself up, so that you're secure, and like if you get married and have kids, you're secure for that. Like be financially secure. Work your ass off. Build financial security and stability. Be responsible. Be frugal. Don't spend much. Don't go on trips you don't need to. Don't buy fucking clothes you don't need. Just like be conservative. Buy clothes that you have for 20 years. Don't want for more than that. And like just set up assets. Like, it was really not like flashy, not like having cash. It's like build assets, be secure, set up, sacrifice, like not maybe entirely, but like sacrifice the things you want to do now so that you can set yourself up essentially. And I was like, wow, that's actually what I believe. I have been like, I've taken on that's what life's about. That's what life's about. And so anything else you want to do needs to just like, to be okay, just needs to fit in with that. Like, because life is I'm just saying this the way that I am to really try to transmit it, because life is fundamentally about this, that you set yourself up financially. And so make sure that is, insured and prioritized, and then you can do whatever else. Like, as long as that is shored up and prioritized first, then it's like, okay, then you can do whatever, right? That's what life's about. And I was like, whoa, that's so interesting. Like, I'm trying to make my life, or I think I'm making my life about, and I'm trying to make my life about living my true nature and purpose. But actually what I believe and what I'm kind of doing, or I go into conflict with, is, and I am doing it, is actually thinking I need to make my life about ensuring financial security. And then outside of that, I can live my true nature and purpose, but I can't, but as long as number one, financial security is like taken care of, if you know what I mean. So what my life is about is financial security, and then I can do my true nature and purpose on the side of that. And that's actually how I was operating. And then sometimes I would choose my true nature and purpose. Fuck me, guys. This has happened to me multiple times. Like if you actually listen to my last podcast episode, this happened after I did my book writing retreat on the Sunshine Coast. It's happened after like trips that I've gone on where I've like gone for my true nature and purpose and then felt like this disrupted my level of financial security and I should have saved that money. Not to say that it hasn't sometimes been truth in maybe how much I've spent on things, but like I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. I should be more conservative and financially secure. And like, like I'm like, oh yeah, I've learned from that. I shouldn't do that. And then, and then I kind of flip back into, yeah, like be financially like conservative and secure. And it's never, look, I'm never wronging being financially conservative if that's what's really obvious. If you're like going to quit your job and you've just got a business started and the business isn't really stable, or maybe it is, but you don't really know how it's going to go over the next month, like a few months or year, it could be really true and in your truth to go, okay, I'm going to be financially frugal for this next year while I like put in for my business, or I free up more time from my job for my business. And, as it transitions before I'm like earning more income from my business, that could be a really true thing. It's all about where's it coming from? Is it coming from feeling like this is what I'm supposed to do and I'm doing something wrong because I'm not doing that because this is like, and I'm not safe because of that, because, what you need to do to be safe in life and for things to work out is make life about this, prioritize this, right? So it's like, where is it coming from? Is it coming from your true higher perspective on the situation, or is it coming from your conditioning and the voice of acceptable, right? So what I noticed was there was a whole lot of fucking conditioning here. And as much as I thought I was making my life about living my true nature and purpose, I was in constant conflict with it, or in a lot of conflict with it, because I believed that actually I should make my life about financial security. And then I would always come into conflict and like, well, should I invest in this thing or should I wait and like be more conservative and save more first? And so something that brought this to light for me earlier this year was I reached this moment where my coaching was coming up with my coach William, in terms of like I was finishing my second 12 month, I think, second 12 months. And so it's like, okay, do I want to continue coaching? And I also had just gone through, oh yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm not going to go into all this background context, but I had just also gone through this period, which I hadn't done for like a very long time, where I was living off some of my savings for a few months because I was working on a project. Might do an episode on this another time. I think I've shared a bit about it, but like I kind of had that upper limit contraction, right? And the structures I had weren't working anymore. I wasn't moving with them. Then when I was really cottoning on to that and I was like, okay, I need to evolve with my business and, like come back onto what's alive and create new structures. So then I started working with this marketing team, and there was a project we were doing that wasn't going to yield really income for a while, but I was like, this is what needs to happen. So I'm going to prioritize this. So I had planned out and I knew, okay, there's a few months where I'm going to live off savings. And then I'll just, I don't know how long it's going to take for my income to pick up more after this, but I'm going to prioritize this project. So I was sort of in that phase. And also in amongst that, I had a really like close person to me in Melbourne who's from Europe and has no family support. Well, like has no family in Australia at all, and kind of no support structure. And they had been really spiraling really badly and having addiction problems and kind of destroying their few friendships. They also have like actually like autism, and so find certain things really difficult, and ended up on the street with addiction issues, literally on the street, and then encountering violence on the street. Literally, like, this person is a person out of every single person I know that I feel most comfortable living on the street, because they're actually trained in judo. They're like an amazing fighter, but like they were having really bad experiences, like waking up having their head kicked, like really, really bad. And they were trying to, detox and get off the alcohol, but then like they were just so stressed and traumatized about being on the street, it would just kind of go back into it, and it was really bad. And then it just like it was not that bad at the beginning, because they were trying to like get the support services, get things sorted, and then it just got like really bad, because like they kind of reached this point of just being fully traumatized, losing hope, not being able to get any help, not having any help there, not really having any friends, not being able to ask for help. Like, it was just bad. And I reached this point where, and we had been assaulted multiple times by this point, and just, anyways, it was like, it reached a point, and then they got their phone stolen. So then there was like no way to even contact them, and they were just fucked. They were barely coherent. It was like trying to talk to a 3-year-old. They were barely coherent. They couldn't retain anything. You could barely talk to them. Then their phone got stolen. The only reason they didn't just get completely like lost and unable to contact anyone. I'm in Bali. They're in contact with their mum in Europe, in contact with one other person in Melbourne. And it just so happened that night I had booked a hotel for them. Like, their mum had begged me, and I was like, I'm not spending. I had been putting money in to try to help the person. At the same time, I'm living off my savings. I don't know when, not completely, like I did have some business income, but to cover me and my business's expenses, like I had planned. I was in this phase of like living off some of my savings. And then, the mum was like begging me. She's like, I'll send you the money. Just please, can you get a place for tonight? And I had already cracked it with this person, because they fucking ruined my birthday and fucked my Airbnb account. Anyways, that was a whole thing. And then they were just in this most helpless moment of like, they were like, I'm not being dramatic. I just haven't shared a lot of like this in depth what was happening. They were going to die. Like, I'm sure they were telling me actually that they like, this person's got my will. You're going to hear from them, whatever. Like, and then they got their phone stolen. They were definitely going to die. I'm not even joking. And it was just this moment where I just knew, like, it wasn't before this moment. It was in this moment where I just knew I have to go over. And like, I had already said to their mom, you have to go. You need to go and get that. I think you need to go and pick them up off the street, because they can't do it on their own. Their passport had lapsed. They're in Melbourne. The only way for them to get their passport renewed was to go to Canberra. They didn't have the money to get on a flight. They absolutely did not have the mental, emotional capacity to organize that or get on a flight, get to Canberra, get to the embassy, like get a renewed passport. And so they were literally stranded, because they couldn't even just get on a flight from Melbourne to the home country. And I was, so reached this point where I was like, okay, this is draining all of us. This is financially draining all of us. It's draining all of us on every level. They can't help themselves, and they actually just need help. And they don't have their village around them. They're stranded literally in this place, and they don't have the help they need to get out of this hole. And actually, they just need help to get out of this hole. And I just knew I can get this sorted in like a couple of days, and I just need to go and do it. Because this is actually a really awesome person. And they're not being like this because they're an asshole at all. They are completely not an asshole. They just don't have what they need, and they're in a full survival, like, freak out. And so I was like, okay, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because if I go, like, I'm going to pay for myself to get there, accommodation for us, flights for them, maybe flights for both of us to Canberra, get them back to Europe. And their mum told me they didn't have the money for it, but also that they would, like, just over time send me back anything I spent. But I was more like, this isn't the time for me to fork out another like 5 grand or whatever when I already have. But this is too important. This just matters. This person's life matters. And you know what? I'm a powerful person. If I need to make more money, I'll just make more money. It's just fine. Like, I just can if I need to. And so, anyways, so I was in this position of like, okay, and now my coaching's come up, and also my house. In Bali, you pay up front for your lease. Sorry, I feel like I'm going into a bit of detail that's like not super necessary, but I don't know. And you need to pay your lease money up front. So, like, you don't pay, if you got a place for another 6 months or 12 months, you don't pay that monthly. You pay all of that up front. And my coaching was coming up, and I like to pay that up front because I save literally 10 grand if I pay that up front. And it would also be quite a stressful thing for me to pay monthly. So I was like, all right, I'm just kind of sitting in this tension that I know it's true that I want to continue another year of coaching with my coach. I know that I want to stay in this house. I need, like, I don't know. I can't remember exactly how much it was that I needed extra that I didn't have, maybe like 50 grand or something. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to come in yet, but I know that I can create it. So I said yes to all the things, depleted I was in this moment of like, I depleted my savings. That was really what I was trying to get across. And I was like, okay, so how am I going to do this? And I like sat in the tension for a while, and I knew, like, I have that money in investments. Like, I have more than that in investments. I can take that out. And then, so I guess that was a thing that was always in the back of my mind. But also, like, I have this relationship with that investment where I'm like, I can't touch it. I just can't. It's a no touch zone. I cannot touch it. And then I was like, okay, reaching a point, I need this to hand over this money that I don't have to these people. And I was like, okay, so I can try to figure something else out. And I also have that sitting there in investments. So why wouldn't I use that? Like, I don't have to, but like, why wouldn't I use that? And I like, why is that untouchable to me? And then I was like, it's untouchable because I need to keep and prioritize financial security. That's got to be number one. And this is part of, in my brain, my financial security is these investments, so that, that's number one. That's number one. And I was like, oh, okay. So, like, living my true, like, the things I want to use that money for are living my true nature and purpose. If I look at my vision of what I know is for me, like, I have intuitively tuned in over all these years and done these processes. Everyone gets the same thing. I get the same thing. This is what I'm here for. This is my true nature and purpose. And like, if I, in terms of like the creative principles, if I really believed the creative principles that I use and that I live by, I'm the predominant creative force. My higher good is always bringing things together for me, and my true nature is my most viable mode of operating. And either what I can make my life about right now in this moment is maintaining financial security and not touching those investments. That's not wrong, but that's what I make my life about, is like keeping like security, like maintaining security, creating security. Or I make it about living my true nature and purpose. And if I look at my vision, what serves my true nature and purpose, it's just obvious that like I have this resource right here. I literally have the resources to do the things that I know in my heart are absolutely true. And so I committed to them months ago without knowing how I was going to make it work, because I just know undeniably this is true for me. Absolutely. And I have the resources to do it, but I'm denying myself those resources because unconsciously I'm actually, as much as I think I'm making my life about living my true nature and purpose, I'm making that number one is financial security. That's actually what I'm making my life about, and why I can't make that decision to use the resources that are available to me in this moment to invest in what is my true next step. Pay up front for my coaching, because that's just what I wanted to do. That felt like the true way to do it for me. And also pay up front for the rest of the year living in my house, which I knew that I just wanted to do. And I was like, wow, if I, like, that's what I'm making my life about. And then it became this really obvious thing. If I make my life about living my purpose, living my purpose, my true nature and purpose, I have a clear vision of exactly what that is. That is a core structure in my work. And everyone that I work with, this is the first thing that we do. It's why it is the first fucking code in my book, Be Unacceptable, is the holy hot service of self-worship, that you identify what your true nature and purpose is, and that's what you live to serve. That is what you live to serve. Like, you can't straddle the fence. You can't try and do like, oh, I'm going to live my true nature and purpose, but I need to, I need to belong and I need to have people like me. And so that's actually what I prioritize over, because you will always be presented with decisions, and it goes all like whatever you choose tells you what you're making your life about. Are you making your life about being liked? Are you making your life about having approval? Are you making your life about maintaining people liking you? Are you making your life about having an image of success? What are you making your life about? Is that what you prioritize in the moment? Like, what you don't post the thing because you don't want to look cringe. You're making your life about not looking cringe and being seen as cool or being seen as successful or having some certain status. That's what you're making your life about. Every decision that you make shows you what you're making your fucking life about. And so I just saw okay, I have a clear set of this is my true nature and purpose. And if I make my life about that, I do what is obvious to serve this. And right now, if that was what my life is about, then I would use this fucking resource I have to pay for these things right now, because I make my life about living my true nature and purpose. And I also know that is my most viable path in life, that is going to, I will always be supported doing that. And I will always find a way to support myself doing that. But I also, honestly, my experience and what I believe and live by is I will be most supported in life, by the universe, doing that. And so I don't need to try to hold on to this other thing, maintain this other thing, because I don't actually fully trust that. And so it just comes down to, what are you making your life about? And then as soon as I saw that in that scenario, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to sell 50K of this. Or maybe I sold 45. I don't remember, something like that. And I'm going to pay for these things, because that's just so fucking obvious if my life is about serving these choices and and this vision and what I see my purpose to be, and I feel and know my purpose to be, it's no brainer. There's no argument that needs to happen in your head. The only argument that needs to happen in your head is between what you're conflicted of what you should make your life about. Like you should make your life about belonging or being a good person or like being the community leader or like having a family or buying a house. You don't got to make your life about any of that if that's not true for you. And it becomes so simple. While I was writing my book, there's a coach that I had done some small things with this year and followed her, and just like, I was just really getting, I actually don't agree with everything that she says. But there was something I was really getting from her in terms of like embodying my authority and self-ownership, and, and kind of being able to just like even more hold myself at the level of my greatness. And uh I had kind of considered like, oh, I could work with her on a higher level, like, some more intimate container. I'd gotten so much out of what I'd done with her already, and just receiving her content essentially. And then, so I wasn't like really actively like looking at it. And then she posted that she had 2 spots that she was filling for her mastermind. And I just had this sudden like knowing. I was like, yes, and I felt like at that moment, I'm in such a good place. Like I'm in the best place on, consciousness turned on, following my path that I've been for a really long time, maybe ever. And I feel in a really good momentum of like, I've built my business income back up. I built my recurring revenue back up. I've also just built the momentum and flow of like these different stages of my business. And I feel like I'm just continuing to build them. And now I'm writing my book and I'm going to release my book. So I'm in like quite a good momentum. And I just felt like, you know what, I can do what I can do myself. Like I still have my other coach, but I was like, I can do, like, especially in terms of business where I really kind of fully take care of myself. Like I can do what I would do and I feel like I'm doing a good job, but I know that I like, if I am held accountable to someone at this much higher level who's really about business and just kind of just fully owning yourself, I know that it's going to challenge me to go beyond what I would just do on my own, even though I'm in a good place. It's going to open me up to see things and opportunities and parts of myself that I'm not stepping into that I could be stepping into. And really just take things next level. And then I thought to myself, oh, it's just so nice though that I'm like, like I've kind of got to a more financially comfortable point again. Like I've made it happen, and it'd be really nice to just like save a bit of money over the next 6 months and like restock my savings. And, and then in 6 months, like I could, I could look at kind of stretching myself a bit more in that way. And then I was like, okay, cool. So that's where you're at. I just started my Feminine Mystery School mastermind with an amazing group of women. Fuck, just like so good, having the best time. And I can see how much my work with this woman and just the transmission I've received from her has up-leveled my leadership as well, and my ability to pull others to their higher standard, like really in a significant way, I would say. And so I was like, okay, that's me. That's me. What would serve my women in my mastermind and like the women that I serve and reach in my business? And also just, it's very easy for me to like always kind of go, well, and the girls in my mastermind, very tangibly, like what would serve them the most, and them getting like coming into their power and, being able to get out of their shit and just really like step up and create what they're here for. Would it be that I wait for 6 months to do a mastermind or maybe one-to-one coaching with this woman? Or would it be that I just do it now? Like I just go for it now. And as soon as I just thought of it like that, which is essentially going, what would serve the people I'm serving? What would serve my purpose? And as soon as I did that, and wasn't any more about my financial security and like, oh, maybe I'd like to get a bit more savings first. I took it out of that and I went, what would serve my vision, my purpose, my people? And immediately I was like, oh, well, I would just invest now. Like, why would I need to build up more savings to make that investment? I don't. Like, I just don't, and I'm not saying this is going to be the same true decision for everyone in every situation like this, but I'm saying for me in that moment, it was just so clear. Oh, in my context, what's true and alive right now in this moment, what is going to serve my purpose and my people and my women in my mastermind is absolutely that I get coached and I go into coaching with this woman to hold me to an even bigger and higher standard of like how much I'm stepping into my power and then how much that, gives me a more solid and embodied transmission and more depth that I can even give to my people because I have an even better understanding of it because I'm doing it to an even higher degree. And and it was just so obvious. And so I just was like, yeah, I'm in. Like 20, I don't know, was it 20 grand? But I was like, yes, that's just obvious. That's just obvious. I'm just going to do it. And so that's how simple it becomes when you know what you make your life about. And it's up to you to decide what you make your life about. The reason I wanted to create this podcast for quite a while is because this has then been something that like has come up with most of my coaching clients, and it's a thing people are coming up against all the time. As I said, it's also been alive in the mastermind where it's been like, oh, okay, but yeah, I feel all this shame or like, I want to go for this, but I'm whatever. And it all really comes down to like, okay, this is what you think you should make your life about and why you're getting fucked up about things. And what do you want to make your life about? Because you get to choose now. Okay, like your parents think that you should take on the family business and it seems to be quite a common one because I'm just thinking of a client and like prioritize like making money, building wealth, financial security, do the family business. And so you feel like you have to immediately be successful in your business to make it valid that you're doing that instead. And then you're caught between like, oh, but am I doing the wrong thing? Should I be doing that? Like my business isn't like immediately so outrageously successful that, it's valid to my family that I'm doing that. And it's like, okay. And then you get fucked up in your head and like, how do I just make more money so that I can prove that what I'm doing is okay? And like toning it down, shrinking, kind of not fully owning because you feel like you can't fully own yourself as that artist until you're really financially successful, because then that shows that you're valid and it's a valid path. But before that, you're kind of not fully stepping into it. And it's like, no, you are now an adult. What do you want to make your life about? You are living by what your family or your culture told you should make your life about, and you keep getting fucked up and conflicted because you're not doing that, but you think you should be doing that, and so then you're trying to do that, but you're not doing that, but you're trying to also do that, and you're trying to straddle it, and you're trying to make both be the case because you won't let go. You just won't let go of the thing your family has taught you should make your life about. But I'm telling you, you won't actually fully step onto your path, and you probably won't have all the magic that you want and momentum because you're not fully choosing it. You think you are, you want to, but you're actually still caught up in choosing what you've been told life should be about. and trying to adhere to that. You're trying to do your true nature and purpose while trying to adhere to that, and it's not working out that well for you. So here's where I'm inviting you to draw the line in the sand. What do you want to make your life about? What matters to you? Do you want to make your life about belonging in the community, building financial security, being successful and having status, being approved of by people, maintaining approval, people thinking that you're a good person and you're doing the right thing? Do you want to make your life about those things? Or do you want to make your life about living your purpose, and that you live your purpose? And you just got to choose, and what's going to save you the headache and the heartache is knowing what you're choosing and choosing it. If you want to make it financial security, own it. Own that that's your number one priority, and that you'll do your passion stuff on the side of that, because that's more important to you than anything, and you're not willing to let go of it. I had a client once who wouldn't let go of it. She just wouldn't. And so we couldn't get anywhere. And honestly, all she did was she'd create momentum, but then she'd get so stuck because she would just go back to, no, but I need to create security for my retirement. And I have to prioritize that. So I need to go back to a job and I need to get this. And I was like, okay, but you either do that, or you resonate with the creative principles and you want to live your true nature and purpose, and you know that you will be taken care of through that. But that's not even the point. That's more important to you than anything else. And you just got to pick. And she was trying to pick her true nature and purpose, but she wouldn't let go of financial security. And so she just stayed really stuck. And that might be the very thing happening to you. So you just got to get real and honest with yourself. What are you making your life about? What do you want to make it about? And then what do you need to just be honest about to choose that? If you actually want to make your life about living your true nature and purpose, unlocking what's in your heart, sharing your gifts with the world, and living what is what you are and who you are and what you love, then you gotta let go of the other shit you're trying to secure first and go, you know what? This is my number one. And once whatever your decision is, once you admit it to yourself, everything becomes simple and everything becomes really obvious. So that's what I wanted to share with you in this episode. I'm so glad that I re-recorded this. If you listened to my last episode, I tried to record the episodes for my book ahead of my book launch and just felt like my energy was not flowing. And so rather than publishing that, I decided to just, you know what, Alex, we'll just do it afterwards. And so here we are. And I'm really glad I have, because I feel like I have actually captured what I wanted to share in this episode. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope this served you. I hope this has supported you in some way. I hope there's just some things have clicked. Things that maybe you even knew that are just illuminated in a way they hadn't before. And that it's just given you clarity to go forward with, because this is the base. This is the base of everything else. That's why it's code 1 in my book, because this has to be established before you can do any of the other codes. You just got to establish. And if your choice is that actually what you want more than anything in life is security, certainty, safety, belonging, resolving those egoic things, then honestly, the rest of my book is not going to be for you. So I would recommend either don't buy it, or if you're confused and you're like, oh, I don't know, I think I want to follow my true path, but if I'm just honest, those things are more of a priority for me right now, then do buy the book, because I think it's going to give you actually so much insight into the mechanisms behind all of that and what you really want in life and what you want to make your life about But, my work, my podcast is for the people that want to make their life about living their true nature and purpose. And they know that's more important than them to anything else. And they likely, because they're a fucking human being, just need to work through all that conditioning that comes into conflict with that, which is exactly what my book, Be Unacceptable, is about. All right, I'm sending you so much love. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love to hear about it. Please send me a message. Tell me what you got from it or what jumped out at you. If you really loved it and you'd love to share it, please tag me on socials. On Instagram, I'm at alexh.co. And if you don't already have the book and you love this episode, definitely go get the book. I will have links for that in the show notes. You can also just find it on Amazon. And I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next episode.